Racism in America is no longer like it used to be, where it used to be black and white, or yellow or brown. Racism in America now is the have versus the have-not.
I think we're all afraid that something like this could happen to any of us.
As a black woman, I feel what has happened is indicative of the embedded racism in our country.
I'm a camera operator. Working in television, we paint a picture to the world that French Quarter, Bourbon Street, Uptown, all those areas, they look fine. You walk a couple blocks over and see what it really looks like. It looks exactly the way that it did 19 months ago.
Everybody in America ought to be outraged. We cannot reconstruct a city in a time of peace. If we wanted to do it, we could do it.
I was intrigued by how quiet it is. You hear things being picked up, pulled down, but you don't really hear people talking and kibitzing. They might say, "Excuse me," or "Can you help me with this?" But I think I'm surprised by the silence.
I'm here for faith reasons. I'm here for taking care of each other reasons. I mean, going in just now and trying to empty this house out and take it down to the beam so they can come back and rebuild it. It's hard, man, because, you know, family had their life in there. So maybe a little bit of what I can do will help. And I hope they come back.
It's a completely destroyed house. CDs and toys and sofas and nothing recognizable, and the smell is intense, and in a hot, weird suit, and, you know, you're hearing your own breath and thinking about people living there, and it's sad. It's very sad.
These are two drawings from little children. Clearly the family that lives at 1319 has young children. When you go in there and it's so overwhelmingly dirty and dark and damp, you just start working like it's non-personal. And you're reminded that the day that this disaster happened, these people were making dinner and the kids were running around playing and the TV was on and someone was checking their email and living the life that you and I normally live. And now their life looks like this.
When it first happened, I donated clothes and, you know, canned goods and food. But it's not really, it's not the same as just being here and seeing for myself. You know, you feel closer to the people who were here and who went through this. I mean, there's houses that people live in and their neighbors are not here anymore.
If we were really serious, you know, as a nation,
oh yeah,
we could have this done in no time.
In New Orleans, there are very subtle sort of variations in elevation. Reality has been that historically, people who had money and who had lighter skin built on higher ground, and people who didn't have money and who had darker skin built on lower ground. It was, I think, around the turn of the century that they came up with the technology to drain the swamps. Even then, they put covenants into the deeds for the land that prevented the land from being sold to people of color. After World War II, you know, when the Supreme Court said those kinds of covenants are illegal, that African American people even had the opportunity to be able to buy land. Then you have problems with the environment, and people's destruction of the environment, contributing to the scale of the disaster. People have been warning for years that those wetlands played a role in protecting from the storm surges that come with hurricanes. But basically what took precedence was commercial activities, was drilling for oil, the fishing industry, and the wetlands weren't a priority. It's a complex sort of combination of race and class and lack of concern for the environment that led to Katrina being the disaster that it was. But I really do believe it was a man-made disaster. It didn't have to happen.
This is the St. Bernard housing development.
Yes.
Pre-Katrina, this development was home to maybe over 10,000 people.
Is that right?
Even though the capacity and the unit space is not conducive for that. Pre-Katrina, this housing development was the most populous development in the city of New Orleans.
Now it's quiet. If this was 2005, they moved the people as far as Atlanta, Houston.
Yep.
How high did the water go?
The water was approaching the second floor. It didn't get to the second floor. They fenced off the whole perimeter of this housing development, supposedly to secure, to secure it.
To secure people's belongings.
Yes.
To keep thieves out.
Right.
When
yes.
did they build this fence?
It was built in 2006. The sign was to let people know if you want to come in and get your belongings, even though you have a lease and you have an apartment here, you will still be trespassing because this fence is up here.
So have the residents been able to come back in and get their property?
Some of them have. Some of them do not have the means because they're all over the United States.
New Orleans is a hurricane city. We get hurricanes like it's a drop in a hat. We was prepared for the hurricane. Really, we were. We knew that if the hurricane came and it was gonna be like about 5 days of discomfort, water on the street, couple of poles down. We back to normal in 5 or 6 days because we didn't have enough money to leave. We ain't had no money to go to no hotel out of town. A lot of people don't have money to leave. That's why they got stuck. The majority of the people stayed. We didn't even care about the severity of the storm. 3, 5, it's just a hurricane. That didn't get us. Katrina came just like Bessie came. And then we said, something wrong, because the sun is shining and the water is rising. That don't go with hurricane. Word came out as the levee broke. That's when we knew we was in trouble. Because our levee system take all our sewage, the waste started coming into the city, the contamination. And when the levee broke in so many different places, my body from my waist down is still in terrible shape now because of that walking in that sewage all along. I tied bodies on posts. And at night, you would walk the street, you would bump into bodies and stuff like that. You smell it. I'll never forget the smell of dead and rotten flesh and seeing it, how disturbed it was. I tied a good friend of mine on a post and I kept asking the National Guard, please come take his body. It's starting to rot. And every day I would go out there and run the birds away.
I ended up in the Hilton with my sister because she was a manager there. One night, while the police were trying to stay there to keep us safe, they had 15 men come, and they say they came to rape the women and kill whoever they could kill to take the food that we had. And the 3 police that were there, thank God, they drew their guns and they told them that you're gonna have to kill us all to come in here and take these women and kill them. So they kind of like protected us, and the police called us all down out the rooms and asked all of us, do anybody have any weapons? Well, nobody thought to take no weapons while you were running from the water. They were telling us we're gonna have to get out of there because the water was traveling and it was coming our way. So at the time, my sister had her husband's truck. So I was telling her, I said, we gotta go. We gotta get out. So the police sit us down. He said, you all are females. He said, but they taking the trucks and the vehicles from you women. He said, when you go out there, there's war. They're gonna take these vehicles. He said, what you need to do is put the gas to the metal. He said, y'all drive as fast as you can. He said, I'm gonna tell you another thing. They're gonna surround the truck. He said, run over them to get out. And as we was going on the bridge, all the people came out. And me being a Christian person, I said, oh my Lord, help us. And my sister was saying, Cassie, the people, I said, Cheryl, run over them. I said, just keep speeding. I said, God, move them as we drive. So they did. As they thought we weren't gonna stop, and we kept speeding, they started moving out the way. But we saw the lady behind us slowed her car down, and they took her out of her car, and they beat her and threw her in the water, and they took her vehicle. We saw babies and everything as we was going. And I said, oh my God, I said, sister, just keep driving.
We're not looking for sympathy. We're not looking for pity or sorrow. We're not even looking for equal rights. We're not even looking for civil rights and nothing like that. All we're looking for is them to be responsible.
New Orleans, it's a city of layers, of time. There's a smell here, there's an aroma of plants and decay of many, many hundreds and hundreds of years. It's very powerful.
The middle class has definitely been affected. When I'm here, I have a place across the river that I'm staying in. I have an apartment in Dallas, Texas that I have to pay for. I have a place on the West Bank in New Orleans that I'm paying for. And if I'm not there, I'm living with relatives. So I'm scattered. The government didn't help me to pay off the mortgage. The insurance monies that I received paid it off. Total amount from insurance is a little over $120,000. The government helped with it, nothing. Except for the initial $2,300, I believe, that everyone may have received. Being affected by something, you would think that, okay, the country will come together to get lives back in order. And because it's been 2 years, it makes you feel as if you're less than a citizen, because if you look around, everything is the same as it was the day after it happened.
We who have power to share, we who have resources to share, we who have goods that others don't have. When we bring something to people, we actually have just as much to get from their courage, from their wisdom, from their patience, from their anger, from their sense of injustice. That is a gift to us. We're really clear that mission is a conversation, that we have something to give, but we really have something to receive. Human beings together can triumph.